So all charities are blasphemous. Well, maybe not all charities, but certainly Alcohol is Anonymous and all those, get your life back together, anti-drug campaign churches, they're blasphemous. And I can tell you which verse specifies that they are blasphemous, and that is Proverbs 36. Proverbs 36, and I'm paraphrasing, says that give unto a man that is suffering, fine wine and strong drink. When a man is ready to die, he is ready to do poison. When he is suffering, let him have whatever he wants to. You can read it yourself if you don't believe me. But the point is that the Bible does not forbid people from intoxicating themselves, and in actuality encourages it. So, why then would Protestants especially, Catholics claim it a vice or a lesser sin, but why do Protestants especially have so much dedication to taking from us that which God put on this planet to help us ease our material pain? Because we have spiritual pain and we use material things in order to compensate. We cannot find spiritual fulfillment, so we find material fulfillment, which is well within our right to do. And they love touting materialism when it comes to hoarding their wealth, when it comes to obtaining more wealth, which the Bible does condemn, but they don't condone materialism when it comes to making people have peace of mind, when it comes to making people act like people. They don't want us to be people. They want us to be an apparatus that exists within its own perverse system that forces us to go to work and to be greedy and to, compete with each other. And the Bible condemns all of that. But they think they're in the right. They think, and their church is the most popular because they're Satan worshipers. That's what Satanism is. So, like I said, if you don't believe me, check it out for yourself. Make your own decision. I don't fucking care. There's nothing that's going to happen to me by telling you, yes, the Protestant faith is a bunch of blasphemers. They're going to go to hell if there is a hell, because the Bible never actually mentions a hell for people. But if there was a hell, they'd go to it. And you should burn their churches down because they're terrible people. Meh. But whatever. Point is that, there's nothing wrong with doing drugs, hard drugs. Not, at least not in the Christian faith. Maybe there's something wrong with it, because, you had personal problems with it and you don't want to be associated with that anymore. That's understandable. Maybe there's something wrong with it because you've had family members that have done drugs and you've seen how destructive they can be and you have trauma with it. But the Bible does not condemn it. The Bible does not say it's a sin. There is a difference between a sin and doing something bad. Anyone can do something bad. That's why it says we're all born with original sin, because we all do bad things. Even Jesus Christ himself did bad things. Nobody wants to admit that, but yes, Jesus was kind of a dick. And he was a dick even when he was crucified on the cross. So there's no getting around that. People do things other people don't like. But does it disgrace canon law? Does it disgrace what God put before us as actually bad within his own eyes? Not within our eyes. Not within your fat mama's tits eyes. Within God's eyes. And drug use is not one of them. So there you go. Yeah. Also, I want to talk about, since we're talking about Proverbs 36, let's go ahead and talk about, I think it was Proverbs 38. Let me check. No, it's, okay, Proverbs 30:10. Alright, I got off by like 2 pages. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Now, I know women. They're going to use this as an excuse that I'm more valuable than rubies. No. What the Bible is saying is you are more rare than rubies. What you are is, it is very unlikely you're going to find a good woman. And it does go on to talk about how great a good woman is. But you're not going to find one. The Bible is pretty clear about the navel. No, not all women are like that. Well, all women are like that. You can call that fedora tipping. You can call that MGTOW. You can call that whatever you want. But the Bible is pretty misogynistic, and that's one of the reasons why I love it. I'm not gonna lie. It's the only thing that keeps me interested in it, really. But yeah, it says in many different pages that women are just terrible, and they have always brought men down with them in their original sin. I could go into the story of the talking serpent and all of that, and fucking how the serpent even had a name that the Protestant faith, once again, does not ever quote upon. They got time for Lucifer, they got time for Satan. When Lucifer and Satan don't involve us at all. I think the only mentioning of us as far as Lucifer goes was Lucifer was like, these dumb apes don't know shit, but you put them above me? Hells no. Literally, hells no. And then God got mad at him and thus created hell for Lucifer and the fallen angels. Not for us, but for them. Satan, just a troll. He trolls God, and we get caught in the middle of that trolling. But in actuality, Satan doesn't give two shits about us. Tiamat, on the other hand, the talking serpent, wanted us to have original sin and to have intelligence. That's up for debate what that means. But Tiamat wanted us to see through the eyes of demons. Tiamat wanted us to be as demons, to be enlightened, illuminated, whatever. But, and who went along with that? Eve, of course. Eve cucked Adam just so she could have the wisdom of demons via Tiamat. And before Eve, there was actually another woman named Lilith, who was debatably worse. That's up to you. But Lilith was a sodomite through and through. I could do another video about sodomy and the differences between sodomy and sexuality, because the Bible actually doesn't really care about homosexuality, even about pedophilia. It does care about sodomy, however. And I define sodomy as just this new age third wave feminism bullshit. It's not even simply debaucherous sex, because I'm sure people have plenty of debaucherous sex. There's just stories in the Bible of debaucherous sex, and nobody cared. But they cared when it deterred them from a functioning society, which is what we're doing now. We're deterred from a functioning society because we're more worried about our identities and their feelings as opposed to, us as human beings and what we're entitled to in order to grow and master ourselves. Now, there's a difference between saying, yeah, homosexuals have a right to marry. I'll agree with you if I agreed with marriage to begin with, which I don't. But, yeah, I think homosexuals are fully capable of loving each other. I don't think that the same type of person that would say, I'm polyamorous, is capable of loving. You see what I'm saying? You can be homosexual and love people, but you can't be all this other bullshit because you are attaching yourself to that. I'm not doing that for you. You are saying, I'm this, I'm that. I have no time to be a normal human being that loves somebody else. You are not capable of love. Admit that to yourself. When you're capable of admitting that to yourself, you can grow. Until then, you are fucked. You will endure whatever the material version of hell, I guess, will be. That is your life of STDs and disappointment and self-judgment. I don't have to judge you. You look in the mirror every day and realize what a pathetic piece of shit you are. You don't need me to do that for you. I mean, I'll be glad to point it out to you because I don't care about you. I don't like you. And your suffering means nothing to me. But that's what it is. You're suffering because you know you are of sin. And I'm just enjoying it. That's actually the essence of Westboro Baptist Church. They are not convinced of these protests are going to bring them to God. They're doing it because they're entitled to it. They know you suck, and they're going to poke the bear. That's it. It's not this elaborate brownie point system. That's modern Protestantism. People that of real faith don't believe that shit. It's already going on almost 10 minutes, so I'll just have to make another video. There's so many things I want to talk about. There's so many things that people get wrong about, Christianity in general that I don't really have the time for it, but I'll try to make time. I guess that's it.